Hey guys, it's Michael. Today we have a very important update on the second stimulus check and second stimulus package. We're first going to go over how today the US topped 5 million virus cases as the outbreak starts to threaten America's Midwest. Then we're going to get into important points on the executive actions that Trump signed yesterday and he officially passed. Then we're going to get into how Democrats criticized President Trump's actions and how they said these orders will offer little help and they still need to negotiate a second stimulus package. And then finally, we're going to get into good news with Democratic congressional leaders and White House officials and how they're still talking about a $1,200 stimulus check and how we definitely need a second stimulus package to replace Trump's executive actions. But before we get started, if you find this content helpful and informative, it would really mean a lot if you could like the video down below and subscribe to my channel so you can be notified when new videos come out. Also, if you want to get $5 immediately, you can download the Acorns investment app and get 2 free stocks valued up to $1,400 when you download the Webull investing app using the link down below. Anyways, let's get right into it. So today the US topped 5 million virus cases as the outbreak starts to threaten America's Midwest. New cases in the US appear to be leveling off at an average of 54,235 new infections a day over the last week, according to a CNBC analysis of Johns Hopkins data. However, U.S. health officials now fear that the virus may be widely circulating in parts of the Midwest after the virus has already spread on each of the coasts. White House virus advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci and virus task force coordinator Dr. Deborah Birx have voiced concern that states like Ohio, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Indiana are beginning to see a tick up in their so-called positivity rates, or the percent of tests that come back as positive. Now let's get into important points on the executive actions that Trump signed yesterday. So top congressional Democrats on Sunday earlier today criticized President Trump's new executive actions, while Trump administration officials have been defending them, and they said that they were necessary because Democrats wouldn't compromise on a broad relief package. There's been a lot of debates going on between Democrats and Republicans on the size and scope of the next package. Trump signed 4 documents yesterday that would provide economic assistance to millions of Americans in his executive orders. But White House officials on Sunday were hard-pressed to describe precisely how the measures would actually work in practice. One of the measures aims to provide $400 in new unemployment benefits, but it is unclear when these benefits will start or if states will be able to implement a new system at all. Another measure, which aims to defer payroll taxes from September through December through the end of the year, would also require participation from millions of employers, something that Democrats say probably won't happen. So most of the executive actions that President Trump passed earlier today, while they do sound good and they make it seem like President Trump did a lot, according to a lot of Democrats, they say that most of these orders will actually have little to no effect on the economy because they're not going to be able to be implemented so quickly, and it requires a lot of things to go right for them to actually work. Earlier this morning in meetings, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin offered sharply different takes on President Trump's virus relief measures and the executive actions that he passed yesterday. Nancy Pelosi branded the actions as absurdly unconstitutional, and Steven Mnuchin, he defended them in saying that these actions were completely legal. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said on ABC earlier this morning that unfortunately the president's executive orders, described in 3 words, would be unworkable, weak, and far too narrow. Nancy Pelosi goes on to echo this, and she said what the president did is unconstitutional slop, and they are just illusions. She criticized that President Trump's actions, saying that he left out a lot of items that actually need to be passed and need to help the American people. She also said that everything is left out. Our assistance to schools, feeding the hungry, helping people who are going to be evicted. She explained how the president's executive order for evictions, he just did a study or a look at moratoriums. So again, something's wrong here. And she said he didn't actually implement a plan to help. He simply just gave very broad details about preventing people from being evicted from their homes in general. However, there is good news though with a $1,200 stimulus check and the second stimulus package negotiations. So good news though is that Democratic congressional leaders and White House officials said earlier today that they are willing to continue negotiations to reach an official second stimulus package agreement, which would take the place of President Trump's executive orders that he passed yesterday. Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi spoke on CNN's State of the Union earlier today, and she said that the negotiations have to resume and they have to reach an agreement. She explained how Trump's executive orders failed to accomplish the administration's own stated goals, and that the idea that they could take the place of an agreement and of a second stimulus package is not the case. She said they still need to pass a stimulus package that'll have money for virus aid, for state and local governments, for unemployment benefits, direct stimulus checks, and all the other aspects they have been speaking about. Nancy Pelosi said, "We've got to meet halfway. We've got to do our best we can for the American people, but what they're putting forth and what President Trump did with these executive orders simply does not meet the standard of what needs to get done." Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin also said on Fox News Sunday that he is willing to continue negotiations with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. He says that we need a second stimulus package, and he still agrees there. He explained how anytime they have a new proposal and they want to start debating and negotiating, he'll listen to it and he's willing to negotiate. So according to everyone involved in negotiations over the last 2 weeks, they're saying that these executive actions that President Trump passed doesn't change anything. They still both think we need to have a second stimulus package that is passed, and they need to keep negotiating. Right now, there is no set date on when they will meet again. However, as of right now, the August recess is still delayed, and they have not officially declared that they are going on August recess. They still say we need a second stimulus package agreement. On top of all this, according to White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow, he also spoke out on this on ABC News this morning, and he said the president has said we can go back to the negotiating table and we need to continue negotiating a second stimulus bill. He said that just because these executive actions were passed doesn't mean that they've said no to another stimulus bill. A lot of people have been worried that since these executive actions were passed, they would stop negotiating a second stimulus package. However, according to Larry Kudlow, he says they've been negotiating every single day and they still want to pass a bill that would include $1,200 direct stimulus checks. He just said as of right now, since they didn't come to an agreement, that is why President Trump passed these executive actions. Anyways, I just wanted to keep you updated on what is going on with the second stimulus check and second stimulus package, all the debates going on here. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to get your 2 free stocks valued up to $1,400 when you download the Webull investing app using the link down below, and get $5 immediately when you download the Acorns investment app as well. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like the video down below, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.